Hello? I think I'm supposed to say something now. Hi everyone. I'm not exactly sure when we're good to go. I think I get another sign. I'm not good with the technical side of this.
We are live and you can go. Just to everyone at home, this is Becky. She's running Spyro Year of the Dragon. Enjoy the run. Go!
Alright. I don't have a timer, so I just tell someone when to start the time, I guess? If that's alright.
Yes, I'll start the timer.
Alright. Perfect. So to make it easier, we just start the timer as soon as I press new game. So I just do a countdown and then we set the timer and then I'll tell you something about the game. Alright, so 3, 2, 1, go! So, hey everyone, I'm Becky and this is Spyro Year of the Dragon, part 3 of the original trilogy. And the category is any percent, which is the most fun category because it's the most broken one. So you're supposed to get through the game and to open the boss door, you need 100x. But that's quite a lot, don't you think? So we're not getting 100x, we're only getting 19. We're playing 15 levels, 3 bosses, and we're getting 1 extra egg. But that's about it. So we have to go through all of the levels, or all of the 15 levels that I mentioned. And we're getting the end of level egg, and we also bring one of the inhabitants back, which is important because bringing one of them back helps us to progress through the game. And most of the time you just see me running through the levels as fast as possible. Sometimes with skips, sometimes without. So this is our first level, and the Major is the one who we're bringing back, and we're going to see him again for like half a second or something in a few minutes. We don't need to go out of our way to collect anything. So you can see all these shiny gems, but we don't need any of them. Which is really convenient. Because in this level already, we would need to pay 100 gems to activate an elevator to get through the level, but collecting gems is not fast, and we don't want to do that. So we're looking for other ways. And conveniently, here, we can just go out of bounds. And what you cannot see from this angle, oh, this is, okay, that was close. Here's a side area, and the loading zone from the side area bleeds completely into the mountain, and that's why we can just activate the side area from behind the mountain. And when we leave the area, we're basically at the end and don't have to go through the whole level. And we also don't need the elevator that I mentioned. So for this, we're supposed to... You only are supposed to fly through the cave in one direction, not the direction I just flew in. Okay. And what I just did, what you can see, I turned around, and with the very convenient Superfly power-up that you could see, I managed to get some extra momentum to get myself onto the wall. And you're gonna see this 2 more times in this homeworld, because that's important. This is another level where you just have to run to the end. So the point of this was to enter the level at all. For a lot of levels you need a specific amount of eggs to actually activate the portal. But as I said, we're only getting 1 egg per level, which is not even enough in the first homeworld. So we would never be able to open all of these portals. But very conveniently, all of the portal triggers are stored underneath the portals, and they are all active. And if you have the required amount of eggs, they just get moved up. And then you can enter it. But since we don't have enough eggs, we just have to find a way to activate the portal from out of bounds. And this is what we're constantly doing in this run. We're finding ways to enter portals. So we're doing the same trick again. We're passing the whirlwind, fly up, and then this is the next one. We do not have enough eggs. And here's our entry. I'm gonna try a trick here that could save some time. Okay. It didn't save, it didn't work. So now we have to go through the level. If you position yourself correctly and time the jump correctly, then you can get launched up in the air from the boar and then get over the wall, and then you land here already. And then you basically skip the whole level. And since all good things come in 3, we're going to do the whirlwind pie pass one more time. Because for the next level, we need to pay gems, and we don't have gems. Whoops. Hey Zoe. So we get it. Oops. We're not getting up, apparently. Let me reset this up. Lose about 15 seconds, it's not a big deal. Okay. So the second part of the trick is the swim. And we call it swim in air because it's literally what we do. We swim in air. And this is, and the next level is a good level to explain this because it's basically an auto-scroller and there's not much to say about it other than we play a different character here. So say hi to Sheila and then let me explain the swim in air. So how the swim in air works is because you have to know something about the water physics in Spyro. In Spyro, the water itself is not like a physical body of water, it's just a plane. And so there's a trigger to activate the plane. And then there's a container to keep you in that. But if you go out of bounds, the trigger is still active, but the container is gone. And then you can just move around freely. And this is what we do. And the swim in air is really, really important. And this is not the last homeworld where you're going to see that.
Thanks for that, Sheila.
So yeah, we brought one of the goats home, and that was the last level. Now we can move on to our first boss. after cutscene that nobody ever watches. Thankfully, we can skip the cutscenes after they've started.
When I heard the sorcerer.
So Buzz is the first boss, and he's also the easiest one, and the one you can completely manipulate. Buzz is programmed to never go over the edge, so we're keeping him here at the edge. And then we just manipulate the camera by, well, returning the camera, and Buzz is off screen, and it's very simple. It's very simple, because as long as Buzz is off screen, he cannot attack us, because what the camera cannot see doesn't exist. So he can't attack us, and as long as we're keeping him here, we just have to. Sorry for that, you probably could hear that. And so we can just finish the fight like this. And now we can move on to the second homeworld. That's Midday Gardens.
Okay, dragon.
We have 4 homeworlds, but you're only gonna see 3 of them. So you're actually not supposed to be under this bridge, but it's very easy. And I'm trying to get swim and air from under this bridge here. And you're gonna see in a second why. Good. You have to be careful because the death plane is really high. So you can die easily if you don't pay attention. So the first level we're doing is Bird. And again, we would have to pay gems, and we're not paying gems.
I have to train
So we just use the swim and air to activate the portal from out of bounds. And now we're playing Bird. Sergeant Bird. As I said, all of the side character levels are auto-scrollers. And some kind of escort missions. So we're defeating a few enemies and
Sir, I've
escorting Gabrielle to the end. And this is the only extra egg we're getting. That's the only one.
Sir, the vine.
Where we get a random egg in the middle of a level. And we cannot skip that.
And while we're watching this cute penguin carrying all the heavy weight, I would like to remind you that these are also heavy times for all of us. And ESA Together is here for you, and especially for all the marathons, to get some money to get us all through these trying times, to provide you with events, with speedrunning events, to help other charities. So please consider donating towards this cause, either directly or through bits. Every little bit helps. It keeps us going. It keeps all those great marathons running on your screen from the safety of your home.
So as I mentioned, if we didn't have enough eggs to open the portals in the first homeworld, we definitely don't have enough eggs for the second one either. And yes, as you can see, we would need... That's too low. Yeah, I thought so. Obviously I don't have 25 eggs to open this. So I'm gonna go out of bounds. The problem is with...
When you see a light,
Hey, Hunter. With Midday Garden portals, you cannot see where they are. In the first homeworld, you could always see where the portals are stored because of the little mustache-like thing. But here you can only, like, you know where they are, but there's no obvious visual cue. This is nothing that should give me trouble. Also, thankfully, all of the boundaries are really low. So, getting there, or getting out of bounds is not the hardest part. So we're going mostly casual through this level. Here, the fun thing about this is, you're supposed to pay moneybags, gems, to open a door, and get you through, but this is a little damage boost we can do
You are
to to skip him. And the funniest part about this is so easy that if you have played this as a child, you have probably known this, because it's really that easy. And the same trick still works in Reignited, and it's even easier there, because the fish are less aggressive and the water height isn't different. So yeah, that still works, and it's even easier, and it's really funny. So we're doing the Battle Founts again, but to the other side. To enter Bamboo, where we're trying to save the cute little pandas. And where I can hopefully show off a trick. Gotta wait here. And I'm gonna try to squeeze myself between the boulder and this corner. And it didn't work, okay. It only saves like 4 seconds, but it's cool to show off. It skips only one of the rooms. So we have successfully saved the cute pandas. Now they remember they can open the emergency bridge. Every end of the level is also opening a shortcut. So the next level is not open yet, but it also doesn't require eggs to open it. Usually you get a little rock from Hunter, that's why he's standing there. Or you can just use the super flame and hit the target to open it. You probably know this level from skateboarding. I think that from all the skateboarding areas, this is probably the most well known. Unfortunately, it's not useful for this run, so I cannot show you how it looks like or show cool skateboarding tricks. But I can give you a warning. I'm going to flame these rockets, 3 of them, and the statue is going to explode. And it's really loud, so be warned. Okay, noise warning's over. There's nothing I can do about that. It's just how it is.
And the noise warning may be over, but you can still make some noise about this marathon. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell whoever is interested in speedrunning, and maybe people who are not and might get into one of our favorite hobbies. Every person here helps. Maybe they donate, maybe you want to donate something, or just subscribe, or gift that sub to a person you know and who is dear to you, because every sub gets doubled until the counter down there hits 800, and all of that helps us very, very much.
Okay, so this is the last level of this homeworld, and this is my nemesis, because this jump is actually really hard. So, as I said, every level end opens a shortcut to the beginning, and this is also due to the fact that the levels are circular. And the end of level is only slightly out of reach, and this is part of it. The problem is, the level end is not out of reach. It's just hard to get there. And this jump is really hard. Even if it doesn't require much, then just a jump and a hover, but it's really precise. I hope I don't gain over here. This looks good. Okay, good. This level is really long otherwise, and it's also really laggy towards the end, so I'm glad I managed to get this. Third try doesn't seem fast, but it's still faster than going through the whole level, trust me.
Let's head on over.
So we can leave this homeworld, and we're going to the next boss. And unfortunately, this boss is not as easy to manipulate than the other one. But it has a different cool thing. Because of how the game works. Spyro 3 has adapted difficulty, and so depending on how well you play, how much things you collect, or how often you die, the game puts you into easy mode or hard mode. And in any percent, conveniently, it's at this point, because we have so little X, we are still in easy mode. So we get easy mode Spike, which is much, much easier than hard mode Spike. He only takes 2 hits per phase. He's less aggressive towards the end. And also, if we're in trouble, we're getting fodder for our cute firefly sparks. So I probably get... Okay, no, I was too fast to get a fodder. So yeah, hard mode Spike is really not as fun as the easy mode one. We're changing to hard mode like basically right now, because then we actually have too many eggs. But as long as we're still in easy mode when entering Spike, we're good.
Listen to me, dragon.
So we're starting off this homeworld that's Evening Lake with another side character level. We go out of bounds because that's very easy here. And we fly around here. And then we enter. So the problem is with this entry that while this looked really easy, it's actually not. Because not only that you cannot see exactly where the portal is, but the problem is there's also another level portal right next to it. It's a speedway portal, and obviously we don't want to enter the speedway because that's completely useless for our progress. So you have to be careful to not actually accidentally enter the wrong level here. But I didn't, so good. And we're escorting our little brother through the levels, or through the level, and protecting him from the seals who are kind of bullying him by throwing snowballs. The Bentley level is not really interesting. It's just Bentley is really slow and controls like a brick. So I'm gonna push this box all the way to the edge because I'm a little bit low on lives and I need one. So you get this random skill point if you push the box over the edge. And you will probably figure out why I need this extra life. in like a few minutes.
Thanks, bro.
So before we're entering fireworks, we're doing the same out of bounds again. And that's interesting. I'm playing on 1.0 version, and I forgot there's another level. But I can mention it anyway. I'm playing on 1.0 version, and in Evening Lake, you can see that by how the boundaries are. And how easy it is for me to get out of bounds. And in 1.1 version, it's much harder. It's still doable, but it's harder. So we're getting the cool ice breath for this one level. And we're using it to do some shenanigans. And do some unattended platforming, because Frozen Altars allows this. It's a really fun level because you can just do all of this unintended platforming with the ice breath.
Thanks for helping out.
Until you forget how to do this casually. But it's a really fun level. There are also like a bunch of speedrun tricks you can do. And they all work. They all work. And now we're going to enter fireworks. The same out of bounds, just in the different direction. And it's easier because you can see where the portal actually is. And then, if you know that the level trigger is stored underneath the portal, then it's very easy. If you can actually see the portal, then you know where it is. So most of you know this level. It was one of the demo levels that got released, like before the actual game got released. So that's one of the most well-known levels. It has also a side challenge. It's called Twin Dragons, and that's the cursed one. It's kind of like a mini boss, and it feels like it because it's really, really long. And if you've done this, then you know what I'm talking about. Also, kind of escorting Greta through the level and her secret mission. We don't see her brother Handel here, but yeah.
If you see Handel,
Handel and Greta are on a secret mission in Spyro 2 as well, and these are the only reoccurring NPCs from in-levels. And they're also on a mission in Spyro 3.
And may I jump in with a quick donation by Piley? They are donating $30 and saying, "Good luck to the run, Becky." Thank you very much for the generous donation. And
Thanks.
back to you.
Thanks. So this is another escort level. We're escorting Crazy Ed. He's looking for the sunken treasure in the Lost Fleet. And unfortunately he will not find a treasure, only an egg, so we're getting it. Which is really nice. And this is why I also took the extra life, because at the end of the level I need to do a frame perfect trick, and I might need a second try for that. And it will cost me a life. Ooh, that's not the best setup, but I hope this is good enough. So we're getting the treasure egg and doing something. Okay. It's hard to do this without sparks, because then the timing is more difficult. I'm trying to do this and then I'll explain it. Okay. So what I just did, I I brought myself down to 0 hit points, and then I got hit again, and instead of dying, I exited the level. And because there's a desync between the game recognizing I'm dead and me leaving the level, the game is just like, okay, I don't know what you are and where you are, and so we call it zombie mode because it's kind of a limbo state, and the game puts you just in the mode
Spyro.
that's next available. And since Lost Fleet is underwater, it puts you in swim state instead of ground state. So it's an instant swim in air. And the death here at the beginning of the level was fully intentional. And that's exactly why I needed an extra life, just in case this happens. Because I know I have to death abuse here to get rid of the zombie mode, because it doesn't get cleared automatically when you enter the next level. And if I'm still in zombie mode, going through this level, I cannot use the power-up that I'm currently having. And there's also a whirlwind at the end. And the whirlwind also wouldn't work. And that's kind of important that it does work. Because otherwise you're kind of trapped in this room. There is a way to get out without the whirlwind, but it's really difficult. And it's also not very fast. So death abusing is the way to go. But obviously you need at least 1 life to do this. Otherwise you game over, and then you are in ground state again, and then you need to do zombie again to get into jump bridge. Being on 0 lives is completely fine. Would have just been really bad to game over.
That's it. I've had enough.
So the next boss is Scorched. And he's the biggest RNG factor of the whole run.
This might be our last.
Because of 2 reasons. Firstly, his attacks are random. There are a few things he can do. And the other factor is Bentley himself. And the rockets he can shoot. Because they're either red or they're green. And we got really lucky because we got first try red. And this is kind of what we always want. Because as you can see, I got 50 of these red rockets, and the green ones, it's only 1. And they also deal the same damage. So obviously you want the 50 because you can finish this whole boss with only 1 rocket, as long as it's red. This is not fast enemy RNG, by the way. Now he's also spawning bus. Yeah, as you can see, it's 1. And you lose like 15 seconds per green rocket. Let's buzz again. So yeah, rocket RNG was okay, but enemy RNG was could have been better. Let's put it that way. The fastest attack is the one with where he just shoots a bunch of electricity balls or whatever. And this is the very last homeworld. It's Midnight Mountain. And as I said, we're not doing anything here, except for, well, entering the final boss area. And as I said, we don't have 100x to open the door, but we can do something else, which is much cooler. And all we need is the helmet of Desert Ruins. I need to set this up. So I'm trying to squeeze Spyro into this corner and then get upwards momentum. Like this. This is not high enough. Okay. That's actually game over, I just realized. So we have to do this again. Thankfully, I will be spawning at the beginning of the homeworld, and it's not very far. So with the upwards momentum, I'm trying to get on top of the scenery and then just enter the loading zone, because as seen in the very beginning of the run in the second level, some of the side portals are just bleeding into the scenery. And this is exactly what's happening here as well. And this is also the only way in. The only viable way in. If you don't have enough X.
And while you are trying to get it in, mind a few messages?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Well, we just saw a boss with a lot of RNG, and well, you at home can also do a few blessed RNGs and maybe win one of the fabulous prizes we have for this event, all by our sponsor HyperX. For example, the Fury Ultra RGB mousepad. I didn't even knew there were RGB mousepads, but here we go. And if you donate $15 during this event, it doesn't have to be one donation, just your combined total, you might win it. Or donate up $25 and you can win a sweet HyperX Cloud X or Stinger wireless headset. I think they are amazing, they look great, they sound great. And if you need a new headset, if you think that RNG is in your favor, donate up to $25 or more, and you might win one of these.
Can you keep talking for a bit, please?
Of course, I can talk all day. You can do it. We all know you can. So, how to support us? Well, you heard donations, you heard prizes you can get, but maybe you have some cheers, maybe you have some bits left. Consider giving them to ESA Marathon, because every little bit helps. And no, that pun was not intended, but I still like it. Or subscribe to our channel. Every sub up until 800, they get doubled by the same guys providing you the amazing prizes, HyperX. And that's not just when you subscribe yourself. Subscription gifts and even Twitch Prime subs, they all count. You might see the sweet little counter down there right next to the donation amount. That's all. If that reaches 800, that's all of those get doubled.
I promise I know how to do this.
Don't worry, I can still talk if you need to. So you might remember yesterday we had a nice Metal Gear Solid run. And I don't know, I think Meryl was kept alive. But tonight we have another Metal Gear Solid run. This time it's the Twin Snakes remake. And we have again the choice. Will we get the Meryl ending or the Otacon ending? So, is it bromance or not? You decide. Currently, Otacon, their bromance is winning with $5.
That was my mistake. I'm sorry. This would have been it. And then I messed it up.
You can do it, Becky. We know it. Come on, chat. Be all cute. Support Becky. She can do it. Because we are ESA together, so we can do this together, and we support each other together. And why are we doing this? So that we together can enjoy more speedruns at ESA, at affiliate events, be a big family, and have a lot of fun.
Okay. This took longer than usually. But hey,
But
we're
see,
in!
we made it.
We're in!
We did it
we can
together.
finally fight the boss. And we did not need to collect 100x. So, yay! So as you could see, I went really far up on the mountain. And then I could just jump into the loading zone because I know it's there, even if you cannot see it, because it's basically inside of the mountain. And now we can fight sorcerers. We're getting all these really cool vehicles from the side character that we didn't even play. But trust me, you haven't missed much, because it's the character you don't want to play. He's useful for this fight though. First we're getting all the cannons for a bit. And then we're getting tanks, and at the end we're getting a UFO. The UFO is best because it doesn't have an ammo counter, it's just infinite. As long as she doesn't shoot you off, then you can just finish the fight. Also, we're getting lots of fodder, so as soon as Sparks turns green, we'll be getting a sheep instead of another vehicle. Uh-oh. You did not see that. No, 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 no. I'm so glad I didn't game over here, because then I would have had to do the helmet proxy again. So now you only have to see the half of the fight again. It's not getting more interesting, sorry about that. If you're really, really good at this fight, you can basically read the patterns. It's like, there are like 5 different patterns for how the vehicles look like in the sky, and which can actually drop. And then you can also predict where the sorceress is running to, and where everything spawns. It's really cool, but I think there's only a handful of runners who've actually put the time into learning all of the patterns. For a long time we thought this is all RNG, and then the world record holder, Jeremy Thompson, put too much time into testing this fight and figuring out all of these patterns, and yeah, that was how we learned how to do sources properly, but it's also a super complicated fight if you try to actually do all of this cool stuff. Also, if you're wondering about the music, that's not a suitable boss music, as you can probably hear. And that has something to do with me still being on 1.0 version. The correct music is on the disc, but it just doesn't get played because they had to rush it at the end, and then they didn't have time to test everything properly. And I think we can just be happy that we have music in this fight, even if it's homeworld music. But hey, they fixed this in the 1.1 version. I think this music is more chill though. I'm also used to it. Okay, so I think we're getting another sheep, and then the UFO, and then We're very close to being done. I promise. Okay, it is. So time's on the last hit. So one more. Time. I'm really glad I don't have my timer open because I don't want to know. I really don't want to know. But hey, we finished it at least. So I'm glad. I'm really glad I could finish it at all. So yeah, and we're back at this. We're trapped here between the actual boss door and the door that we couldn't open because of the 100 egg requirement. To leave this, we can only use the credit cheat code because if you leave this, then you are at the end of the homeworld again, and that's it.
All right. Thank you very much for the run. You sure you don't want your time?
No, you can tell me.
It's 44:11, slightly overestimate, but
Okay.
it was still an amazing run. It was a lot of fun to watch. Some struggle. So, any last words from you?
Yeah, just thanks for having me and thanks for watching. I will probably look at this again and try to analyze my mistakes, and then yeah, hopefully I see you again. So see ya and thank you.
And thank you that you joined ESA Together. That was Becky with Spyro Year of the Dragon. Coming up next is Tarzan Untamed by Double Double.